Hi everyone. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to come on and say I wish you the most amazing 2023 and on. I want to thank you for supporting me through the year. I know I don't show my face very often, but I will try and do that more often in the coming year. I think we are going to have a very interesting 2023. I think that obviously there is a lot of good and bad that we can expect. We have very intense astrology this year, the most intense astrology since 2020. But we have some really good things happening as well. For example, we have Jupiter now in Aries, starting a brand new cycle around the zodiac. So it's a brand new beginning for everyone, really. If you think about your life in the last 12 years, Jupiter will have come kind of full circle for you from your house of Aries to where it is now again. It's bringing gift, lots of blessings. It's bringing growth opportunities, and it's also bringing wisdom. So you can look at that house, and that is also the house where the North Node will be moving into in the middle of the year, bringing more connections and moving us more towards that independence in that area. But before I get to that, that's the one very positive thing as well. But we also have the Uranus-Saturn square that we've had all of last year, the previous year as well. That's been very frustrating, keeping us very blocked or restricted in some way in our lives. So in some area of your life, you felt frustrated, blocked, like you can't move enough. There's somewhere where you need more freedom, more flexibility, maybe a pattern you needed to break away from, or a person or a job, or wanted to make a move you couldn't make, or whatever it may have been for you. It could even have been something very personal and internal for you. That square is now moving into a sextile this year, which is so much more harmonious. And it's going to, and this is happening in March. So if there's those things that you really want to make happen this year, that you really want to forward now, you want to wait till around that time to really move it forward. And so that's a really positive, wonderful thing. So there's a release there. There's a breakthrough there. We also have a Mars retrograde right now, also, of course, till the middle of January, which is really helping us to think where we are putting our energy. Is it worth it? What are we passionate about? Are we working smartly? And really reassessing what is worth our energy as well. And also dealing with our self-control and anger issues that we may have could be coming up at this time in that area for your life. But really, we have so much happening this year. It's a very intense year. We will have eclipses in the Taurus and Scorpio axis, as well as the Aries and Libra axis, because the nodes will be moving into Aries and Libra in the middle of the year. So as well as all the financial changes that'll be happening in the world and the war and peace energies that we have, this will continue because both Taurus and Scorpio, as well as Aries and Libra, are ruled by Mars and Venus. So it's definitely an energy exchange, moving from fixed to cardinal energy, from earth to fire, and from water to air. But it's still dealing with balance. It's still dealing with war and peace. It's still dealing with relationships. So we're still going to have a lot of relationship things to deal with, money, balance, all of that. Me versus you, and so forth. So just continue with the work and the healing and the forgiving. Saturn will be moving into Pisces, of course, as well. And this can bring up a lot of water issues, but it's really a sign of release and endings. So it's really a time to really purify and detox your lymphatic system, and really focus on what you put into your body and what you are feeding yourself and nutrifying yourself with. okay, and staying away from anything that's deceptive. But we also have Pluto dipping its toe into Aquarius this year. So we will have, for a short period, until it permanently moves into the sign of Aquarius around 2024. But we will get an idea of what that transit could bring for us. And so that will be very interesting as well to see. It gives us a bit of foreshadowing there as well. But I think especially that there's a fire in our belly this year with the North Node moving into Aries. So we're becoming more assertive. We're standing up for our rights. We're fighting for our freedoms. We are going to want to take more charge of our lives and initiate those changes that we want to make, that we've been waiting to make. We're going to be more self-confident. We're going to tap into that sense of self. What makes us tick? Where do we want to focus our energy on? And especially now with this Mars retrograde, we've been given opportunity to really see where we want to put our energy and who we want to put our energy towards as well. And so they say where your focus goes, your energy flows. So it's important this year to see where your focus is and where it needs to be, and to focus on fully being your authentic self and expressing yourself and standing up for yourself and your rights and your freedoms. So we are moving forward this year. We are changing. Oh yes, and the Mercury retrogrades are in all earth signs this year. At least the first 3 of them. The last one I'm not really spending too much time on right now because it's at the really, really end of the year. So to me, it's kind of more into next year. But I would say it's all happening in Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. So we're dealing with practical solutions in our everyday lives, in our everyday structures and material worlds around us. So we're making changes, we're initiating, and we are standing up for ourselves and being assertive. So this is wonderful. So I recommend really purifying your thoughts, really getting clear on what it is that you desire and where you want to take your life. How are you going to create the life that you want? It starts, of course, by accepting that which we cannot control and surrendering the rest to God. It also starts with accepting responsibility for the reality in our lives that we have created, and forgiving, letting go, and taking control of what we can, and realizing that we cannot control others or what they decide, taking control of what we can in a healthy and balanced way, and making choices moving forward, practical solutions moving forward. So I wish you the best, most curious and wonder-filled 2023. May the sun shine bright on you this day. May there be blessings coming your way. Until next time. Bye-bye. Welcome, Aries rising. This is your 2023 Astrology Horoscope potentials. Pluto has been in your 10th house since 2008 of career, life direction, achievements, public image, status, fame, goals, etc. It can also involve a parent or an authoritative figure. Now, Pluto usually begins by breaking down the area of life it moves through, and then rebuilds it transformed and renewed, and more aligned with your truth. You have been passing through Pluto's complete transformation since 2008 in this area of your life. So it's been a long transit. You've seen most of it, searching and finding out more of what your role is in this world, giving more insight into what your goals are, not throwing away your humanity, and staying kind is important with Pluto in this house, as you may feel like you're becoming another person. a possible change in life direction, place of living, or dealing with the loss or permanent change of a parent. You are finding yourself in a type of a death and rebirth experience in this part of your life. And this could come to a potency point now with Pluto at its final degrees of Capricorn, about to move into your 11th house of Aquarius on the 23rd of March. For a brief stay, about 3 months, moving in and out of Capricorn, Aquarius, until its permanent stay, which will be by the end of 2024. But for now, we can get a taste of what this could bring. In some cases, this can also be end of life stages or loss of a parent, receiving an inheritance, your role changing as a parent, your career taking a final permanent shift. With Pluto in this area for the next 20 years approximately, your peer circle and associations will change completely. Your long-range plans will be changing. You may be seeing it differently now. While Pluto is transiting there, you may be attracted to people and friends and groups that are more intense, that affect you more deeply, and whom can change you on a very deep level, profoundly, or the direction of your life entirely. This can also be dangerous in some cases, therefore always trust your intuition. In some cases, this can indicate strong political influence or a powerful person coming into your life, or reform associated with societal reform in some way. Now, Neptune has been in your 12th house of Pisces since 2011 and will be until 2025, where you have been getting in touch with more of the deeper meanings and sides of life. Your intuition is stronger, and you may experience more challenges regarding self-sabotage or addictions. This is a time where it can be easy to fall into depressions, or for some, this can be a time where there can be more health issues, also mental health popping up. It can feel like you're drowning in some of your emotional states. Try not to dwell on the past too much. It's important now to purify the body, mind, and soul, meditate, spend time in prayer, practice yoga, see a counselor, speak to someone if you need to, and turn your habits into healthier ones that build you up and not tear you down. Now, Uranus has been in your second house of Taurus since 2011 and will be here until 2026. This is a house of huge changes and breakthroughs at the moment. You may have experienced quite the ups and downs financially with Uranus here, also with work in general. Uranus here can help you to be more creative with your talents, your ideas, towards making money. Your self-worth can be undergoing a transformation as well. It is important to remember that what you earn and own is not a reflection of your worth. Fluctuations with money and work could also have heavily affected your marriage or close relationships. Unexpected changes can continue to occur in this area while Uranus is here. Therefore, stay as flexible as possible. Have more than one income source if you can, and have a plan ABC. Also take care of your intake, what you eat, what you drink, and also your thyroid and your physical body and neck. Positively, you can get genius ideas now regarding earning money or starting a business or changing a business or new investments, ideas, incorporating new technology, and more futuristic avenues going forward. Now, Saturn has been pioneering through your 11th house of Aquarius for almost 3 years, paving the way for Pluto, and will be ingressing Pisces, your 12th house, on the 7th of March 2023 for about 3 years. Now, while Saturn's in your 11th house, or while it's been in your 11th house since 2020, of December 2020, you've worked hard towards goals and may have been separated from certain groups or friends that you're associated with. But now with Saturn moving out of this area, very meaningful new connections will form that are more permanent and more aligned with who you have become. Saturn in Pisces from March will be a period of time where you finish up issues from the last few years, the last karma, so to speak, so that in 3 years from now, you can start from a clean slate. This can be a time of mourning for some, or hospitalization of self or of a parent, or retreating more inward or going away to heal and to process and see what you have achieved and what you haven't, from a place of non-judgment, in order to move forward after you've done the healing work, after you've put down the bottle, so to speak, and facing the self-sabotage. In some cases, you could be doing much of your work behind the scenes or just more remote or alone. And for some, this can be a period of grieving. So it will be important to, again, take more care of your mental health during this time. Jupiter is in Aries in your first house until May 16th, when it enters Taurus, your second house. But while in your first, you started a brand new 12-year cycle of sorts, a discovery of your true self. You've been learning much about yourself and your effort and your effect on others. You've realized your desire for more meaningful connections, and you may have experienced more joy and optimism regardless of what life threw at you. More opportunities that involve travel, the law, foreign people, and places can come in with Jupiter here. It will be important to avoid overindulgence. Jupiter can add weight gain, or again, it can have an all-knowing attitude on a lower polarity. So make sure you stay open-minded and take more care of your liver now as well. I would highly recommend taking milk thistle if you're somebody that drinks frequently. Of course, this is not medical advice, so please check with your physician for any contraindications. But with Jupiter in your second house as of middle May, you can gain new work opportunities, financial blessings. Whatever you value now can grow and expand if you focus. Jupiter brings the opportunity, but you have to take it and do something with it. Avoid overspending and overeating. There's also the chance of foolishly losing large amounts of money if you don't act with wisdom and planning. This can indicate a large purchase or investment in some cases. This can mean you're going through your possessions, or maybe you inherited some and you're learning much of yourself as well as your family and ancestral lines by going through the items and deep diving into meaningful and soulful journeys. The 1st of June, Jupiter will conjunct the North Node in Taurus, which can bring powerful and fortunate connections, a lucky break, an opportunity to act towards your future, healing, a financial blessing or form of healing, or an ultimate release that ends up being a blessing. Mars will begin the year in retrograde, so please also check out the Mars retrograde in Gemini video. I'll put the link in the description box below. Until about mid-January in Gemini, your third house, where you've been busy with much paperwork, overthinking, appointments, and much mental battling going on, and communication issues, and commuting, and technology issues, maybe electricity issues, and a lot of busyness at this time. And with Mars in your fourth house, as of the 25th of March in Cancer, you can experience extreme emotional ups and downs. Sometimes this can involve family or a parent. Past subconscious feelings can come up now almost explosively, or childish types of behavior due to old wounds being triggered in some way. You can spend time moving or working from or on your home. There can be more fighting at home, or a sense of wanting to live alone. It can feel as if someone's trying to block you in some way, or maybe even you are blocking yourself in some way. This is a time where it's easier for you or a parent to get injured at home, also with Mars in the third house as of the beginning of the year. So you're much more accident prone at the beginning of the year, as well as in the home at this time. So be more careful with fires, knives in the kitchen, etc., and try to be more compromising with your loved ones and the ones that are around you all the time. Now, Mars will ingress your fifth house of Leo on the 20th of May and can enhance leadership ability, drive for power and control. Your urge to succeed can increase. You could be more sexual, more expressive, partake in sport of some kind. You could start your own business. This is also a time where there can be more conflict involving a child or arguments, and also the possibilities of accidents with them. They could be going through hormonal developments as well at this time. From around middle May, but around, I would say 21st of May to be exact, and a few days after, when Mars ingresses Leo in your fifth house, Mars will be opposite Pluto at 0 degrees of Leo, indicating the potential for raw passion and intense attractions, as well as the possibility of power struggles, as well as arguments, competition, and even violence in some cases. So keep that in your awareness and stay out of conflict and confrontation if you can. If you cannot avoid this, get assistance if needed. This can also involve children or your own issues regarding leisure and work, or your own creative projects versus responsibilities at work, freedom versus restriction, even your self-expression and creativity, or how much free time you have, or maybe a new love interest and a powerful attraction. But a few days after Mars will square Jupiter in Taurus in the first few degrees, on which is a good energetic time to forward new projects. So just stay realistic and don't overextend yourself. On the 26th of June, Mars in Leo will square Uranus in Taurus. And it will be important to remember that new challenges need new solutions and not old ways. There can be a restlessness here, or a rebelliousness of wanting to break free from something or someone, or a pattern of some kind. It will be important to notice the signs and create change that you can systematically create in order to not completely throw the baby out with the bathwater and waiting until it's too late. You can be more accident prone now. Again, it is important to work out physically, but safely, and be more careful using any kind of electricity or machinery. This can be regarding also work and creativity, your self-worth, your self-expression, Again, balance between work and play, love relationships, a child, your day job and your side hustle, your spending on food and beverages or intake and addictions versus your children and expenditures and time spent, and so forth. Now, Mars will ingress Virgo on the 10th of July in your 6th house. And Mars here can bring up health issues, digestive and inflammatory issues, headaches, fevers, and accidents at work or in everyday routines. There can be more frustration, more opportunity for not getting along with coworkers, or you may start a new job or a new position, or want to work more alone or on a project alone, or in some cases you could quit your job. It can indicate that you are overworked, and it can go over into health issues if you don't make sure that you take time to also rest. So make sure you take time to rest and take care of yourself. This can also denote an orderliness, hard work, much detailed work, and being more practically oriented regarding solutions and your approach to things. In some cases, this can indicate a new exercise or health routine. Mars will also oppose Neptune just before entering Libra, and this can be a slowdown or a disappointment for some. So if you didn't take the time to rest, you might really feel depleted by this time. Or you can be more prone to illness or infections in this time. So stay away from alcohol so you take care of your health and also your mental health. Mars will ingress Libra, your 7th house, on the 27th of August and can bring arguments and discord in close one-on-one connections, spousal relations, etc. Or also business relationships. You can experience more selfishness and competitiveness here, conflict, or you can use this time to work on the relationship or work on a project with your partner together while working on the relationship and your communication with each other. In some cases, you can break up. In others, you can start a new relationship now that's more physical. In some cases, this can indicate legal action. Regardless, the tendency to act against one's own best interest can rear its head at this time. A partner can act more selfishly, but it's important to take better care of your health and think before you act or operate machinery. And that would go for both yourself as well as your partner. In the first week of October, Mars will conjunct the South Node in Libra and oppose the North Node in Aries, also whilst squaring Pluto in Capricorn at 3 degrees. Now, Mars here can indicate war themes, withdrawing from physical confrontation. Energy levels can feel more depleted, more of a passive-aggressive energy. This can also indicate putting your gun down in a relationship, a ceasefire or a giving up or ending it, or healing and letting go of the habits that no longer work constructively for you. Or in some cases, it can be a giving up on giving up and simply picking up that gun and standing up instead and actually putting a stop to the passive-aggressive energy. But this is important for letting go of the habits that no longer work constructively for you as a couple or for you in your approach to dating and connecting with others on a one-on-one level. Mars will ingress Scorpio, your 8th house, on the 12th of October. Mars here gives more purposeful drive, determined and courageous action, and a do-or-die energy, really. And this brings in topics of other people's money, working on it, or taking out a loan, or arguing about joint resources. joint accounts. This could indicate investing into something or starting a new partnership or ending one. This could indicate sex or intimacy that is profound and life-changing for you, or a traumatic accident or event or person that completely changes your life or the way that you perceive it. But there is a death and a rebirth in this area of life. Now, on October 29th, Mars will oppose Jupiter in Taurus, which can bring luck or favorable action. You may want to do so much more in a financial area, also connected to other people or close relationships or business partnerships. Just make sure you act without selfishness, that you stay within your means and not act foolishly. This is a time that you can give birth to a new kind of connection, partnership topic associated also with work, income, and second house and eighth house matters, which is the power and control axis. It is the financial axis. Now, on the 12th of November, Mars opposes Uranus in Taurus, and this can bring in a restlessness, a frustration for some, or an emotional explosion of sorts, or a breakaway energy towards freedom and independence. As you or towards you, or this is the final breakaway you've been waiting for, a release and a victory, but it comes with resistance and may not be easy. In some cases, this can indicate surgery or accidents. Therefore, make sure to exercise safely, use motorized equipment and electricity with care, and take care of your health. On the 24th of November, Mars will ingress Sagittarius in your 9th house, where you could be dealing with more intellectual work or have to defend your beliefs more. You may want to share your views with the world, or you want to travel or work abroad or publish something or study something, take something further or end studies of something, or start a business with imports or exports, take a trip. Maybe it involves work. It would be important to possibly check an astrologer if this would be a safe time for you to travel with Mars here. You may be more interested in researching the deeper meanings of life, philosophy. You may preach, or for some this can indicate legal issues, or that you can be involved in action abroad, or an accident abroad, or actions involving the law, or a father, or a teacher, or a foreigner. You could meet a foreigner now that plays a big role in your life and changes the way you see the world. Mars will square Saturn upon its entry into Sagittarius at 0 degrees of Pisces, and this can be frustrating in getting things done. The key is to work slow and steady and with consistent progress. Pushing it too much will now be ineffective. Some can experience a blockage in their forward progress due to fear of not being good enough. You will need to face who you truly are and not take others' opinions as a validation of who you are. Mars in Sagittarius will square Neptune in Pisces on December 28th. And the year can end on this note, where you may feel discouraged or not entirely happy with how something may have turned out. Doubt or inadequacy can come out. Either way, regardless of whether you made a wrong turn or not, giving up is not an option at this time. Face yourself, not others, and make the changes you know in your heart is right. Pray and listen to your intuition. You must not do anything devious to try and fix a situation, and you must take care of your health, as you may feel more tired or maybe lethargic, or some might feel a bit more ill or disappointed. Remind yourself that this too shall pass. This is, of course, worst case scenario, and if other transits also concur. It can simply be a small disappointment or a hospital visit or the need to talk to someone to help you out of a certain headspace. But do what you can and surrender the rest to God. The retrogrades will be all in earth signs this year for Mercury. So between the 13th and the 13th of December 2022 and February of 2023, we could expect a lot of travel cancellations, infrastructure mess-ups that affects also our jobs, extreme weather conditions, traffic chaos, work issues in regards to pay, politics and business, making huge changes at the top of the power structures with the famous. Many people will resign or be promoted, depart, or even merge. But it will be a lot of changes and a lot of chaos is possible. Also, especially in regards to travel during this time, because of the fact that both Mars and Mercury is retrograde up until about middle of January. Now, the 29th to the 18th of January, the 29th of December till the 18th of January 2023, Mercury will retrograde in Capricorn from 24 degrees to 8 degrees in your 10th house. Now, every Mercury retrograde is a time when misunderstandings and mishaps are common because Mercury appears to be moving backwards in the sky. So most of the things that are associated with Mercury, whether it's communication, conversations, travel, commuting, your vehicle, your technology, your computer, online work, all of those types of things, your phone, can go haywire. Now, when Mercury retrogrades through Capricorn, it targets the areas of life that Capricorn rules: our careers, our ambitions, our public status, our work ethic, that type of thing. So everything that is connected to Capricorn will basically be affected in general. And this is a time where you will, where you may experience setbacks in work, or a clash with authority, or suffer a blow to your image. But this is a time to rethink this area of life, reassessing and seeing where you need to make changes and adjustments. And this can also, of course, affect relationships with your parents, your marital status. It's not always a great idea to start a new job or a new position or apply for a new job while Mercury is retrograde. So you want to make sure that you rather do the research for that company, or work on your resume, or work on the changes you want to do, cross the T's and all of that, and then move forward once Mercury is actually out of retrograde and out of shadow. It will be important to refine your research, like I've said, and fine-comb your work. It is a great time to finish things that are not finished yet, but you will gain a lot of clarity in this area once completed, because you will be more reorientated in this area. Now, Mercury will also retrograde from the 21st of April till the 14th of May in Taurus, from 15 degrees to 5 degrees. And this will be in your second house of finances. So this will be a time where you'll be asking the questions of, do I need to get another job? Is this really worth it? Money and work can change, or it can come and go. It's time to really think about your values, what you value in your life. Are you fulfilled in your career? Are you financially where you need to be? What is it that you really desire? Do you align your income and your possessions and what you call yourself as part of your self-worth? Are you allowing the material world to own you? All of that stuff. You may be reviewing your bank account. It might be a time where you are paying overdue bills. It would be a good idea right now to avoid huge or major purchases. And maybe make a budget or open up a savings account. You may also be rethinking your diet, what you eat, what you drink, your intake, not only food-wise, but also what are you watching? What are you listening to? Who are you surrounded by? Who is affecting you? What is coming into your world? And how is that affecting you? Your voice, you will be rethinking how to use your voice, as well as close relationships. If you have any thyroid issues, they can also come up now during this Mercury retrograde as well. So take better care of that and avoid sugar as much as possible. Now, on the 23rd of August till the 15th of September, Mercury will retrograde in Virgo, your 6th house of health, from 21 degrees to 8 degrees. Now, this can be a time to reorganize your workspace, your office, sort out your diary, look at your appointments, make sure you write things down and put reminders on so that you don't, if anything changes and throws you off, that you can just go with the flow and keep going. Sometimes there can be miscommunication, especially between coworkers. You can have technological issues at work. This can sometimes feel like your schedule's just been thrown out the window. So it's important to stay flexible and to stick to your routines as much as you can to avoid forgetting about appointments or schedules. This is a time to really take an inventory of your health and how you feel, making sure you rest enough, that you're not overworking or overstressing. You can maybe spend this time doing more research into your own health issues or into herbal medicine or alternative medical care, unless there's serious consequences for something. You might want to get a second opinion if you've gotten some kind of diagnosis at some point. If you get test results at this time, they might be inconclusive. So just know that. So wait rather till after Mercury is direct again. It would be better to start a new diet or a new exercise regime or a new schedule or new habits once Mercury is direct. So for now, just do the research, find out about the nutrition, work out maybe a weekly intake, diary and so forth. So reorganize, rejuvenate, repair, refresh, all of those things. Now, from July 22nd to the 3rd of September, Venus will be retrograding in Leo, and this is your 5th house. Now, during Venus retrogrades, we are rethinking style, beauty, our values, our self-worth, fairness, justice, our choices, our partners, what we desire, food, comfort, pleasure, nature, money, and of course love, and also balance. So with this retrograde, I think for you, there will be a lot of lessons in regards to self-love, self-acceptance, and really expressing yourself. So you might want to change your makeup or your hair, or you may start a new relationship, or an old lover could return. And there can be sort of a second chance in love. There can be more fun in regards to children. There could be a change in a child's look, for example, or there could be a new love interest for a child. Creatively, you can really work on creative projects now and refine it and redo what you need to redo, and really pour creativity into this. You could turn a hobby into a business with Venus here. But you may have to rework some things and relook at things, maybe see, what the value of it really is, how much you really want to price things at, etc., etc. But overall, this is a big lesson as far as love, really reinventing yourself, feeling more beautiful, becoming a more refined version of yourself, and yes, seeing love in a brand new way, seeing fun and how you do romance and love in a brand new way. So this is a very important time to really tap into what makes you feel good, who makes you feel good, and into the childlike joys. Think back about the things you used to love doing as a child, and see how you can reconnect and bring some of those things back into your life at this time. That can also inspire you and also bring back almost a youthful renewal, which can also transfer in through to love and romance at this time. So this is a time where you can ask yourself, what lessons have I learned from past relationships? How can I have more fun in my life? And even going for counseling is a great way to use this energy, especially if you need to open up communication lines between you and a partner, or between you and a child as well. Now, Mars rules your chart and can therefore affect you quite strongly. Mars will be retrograde since the 30th of October 2022 and up until the 12th of January. So you should definitely check out my in-depth video about Mars retrograde in Gemini. I also have sections linked in that description box for each rising sign that you can also check out. But in general, for the third house where it's happening for you, you may find communication is more challenging. It's maybe a better time to use influence rather than forcing things. Just do what you can to stay flexible and not become frustrated. Make sure that you breathe when you want to speak, especially if you have to address people or make speeches. Make sure that you're doing deep diaphragmatic breathing in order to get your words out properly, to really think before you speak. Consider alternate ways of communication. Maybe what's worked in the past is not working anymore, or you have to change things up. And of course, this can translate into anything, whether it's speech or online or in actual physical form. There can be a lot of changes in your neighborhood and environment as well. Things having to be fixed in the neighborhood, or maybe even relationships with siblings or a friend or a family member or a neighbor that needs repair at this time. So this is a good time to really use the time constructively and really think before you do. Now, during Jupiter retrogrades, we can be more in tune with the deeper meaning of life, deeper values and beliefs, and want to connect more on a spiritual level. We have to work a little harder for our opportunities. We benefit more on a spiritual level. We become more compassionate, generous, more inward reflecting on what's good and wholesome and truth. And we become more contemplative and try to do good and see good in others. But we must also be careful of not being used and being too nice and too forgiving. Now, Jupiter will retrograde from September 4th to December 30th, 2023, from 15 degrees of Taurus to 5 degrees of Taurus in your second house. So this can be a time where there can be unusual expenses, financial and work fluctuations. It may not be a good time to buy a home right now, but to rather just look and do research. Or it might not be a good time now to start a job or make impulsive financial decisions or large purchases. So be careful not to choke whilst eating, because you will need to eat slower and be more conscious of what you put in your body. And a reevaluation again of your intake is needed. Alcohol, sugar, the liver especially needs to be looked at. All kinds of overindulgence can be an issue now. So reevaluate your way of earning a living. Are you fulfilled? Do you need to make changes? Maybe take a course or relearn an old skill or a talent for future use. Investigate your self-worth issues related to what you earn and what you own. So this is a repetitive theme for you. So as you listen to this podcast, you will see where there is quite a bit more focus. Usually, during Saturn retrogrades, we are reminded of reality, the aspects of life we cannot avoid, rules, responsibilities, length of life, blockages, taxes, restrictions, authority figures, time itself, or commitments. Now, Saturn will retrograde from the 17th of January till the 4th of November, from 7 degrees to 0 degrees of Pisces. And this will be in your 12th house. And this can be a time of spiritual growth, help from friends. It can also bring loneliness, humiliation, sinful deeds, illness, depression, separation from friends, or being institutionalized in some way. It can be a time where you retreat to process deeply held emotions like grieving or researching and rethinking the last 30 years or so of your life and how you want to finish things up so that in about 3 years' time you can start fresh and do things right again. So this is a time where you will be rethinking a lot of your life, possibly also the life of your parents in some way, and the journey you've been on. And this is a time where you want to make sure you reach out to others if you need assistance, especially with mental health issues and addiction as well. Because there can be a lot of escapism tendencies when we are feeling more emotional. Now, eclipses will be in Scorpio, Taurus, Libra, and Aries this year. And I will be going into more depth about these in the coming year at that time. And it's important to remember that eclipses are activated during this time, but can also start to unfold 6 months prior, and in most cases post as well. Therefore, it's not necessarily something that you're going to see on the day or the week of the eclipse. The energy activation point is there, but there can be unfolding over months of time in that area. Now, on the 20th of April, there will be an annular total solar eclipse at 29 degrees of Aries, and this will be in your first house. This is an energetic degree, so this will be a very powerful eclipse. New connections can come into your life, a new relationship, a new look, a new perspective, a new sense of self. You may want to prove who you are or act in a way to proclaim your new self or true self. In some cases, you can end a relationship, a business relationship, or a love interest where you may have lost yourself in. This can stir a need for you to go your own way and to begin again, to become more self-sufficient and independent. And you can be getting ready at this time to march forward. Now, on the 5th of May, there will be a penumbral lunar eclipse at 14 degrees of Scorpio from Yes, 14 degrees of Scorpio. I just had a blonde moment. In your 8th house. Now, eclipses in the 8th house are intense and can bring on soul searching. Some might become aware of the heavy energetic price of debt or toxic entanglements. A catharsis might be due in order to transform some of our darkest shadows into productivity. There can be near-death experiences in order for us to define the light more. Other possibilities of intensity around sex, intimacy, meeting someone else's darker side, or leaving a controlling situation, or ending a toxic relationship, or paying off some kind of debt. You can finish a research topic, or something in your spouse's income could change, or shared resources can change in some way. You may stop receiving financial aid of some kind, or be denied a loan. Ending a joint endeavor, or losing someone, or a finishing and final healing of a trauma, a change in intimacy, or a change in a sexual relationship. Overall, eclipses in the 2nd and 8th house involve developing our natural talents, realizing our values, and not selling our soul. Now, on the 14th of October, there will be an annular solar eclipse at 21 degrees of Libra in your 7th house. And this can be the beginning of a relationship or a close bond with a spouse, a lover, a business partner, or even a counselor, or a person that you've sought advice from, or legal counsel from. This can be the start to a lawsuit or a change in the way the public sees you. There may be a part of your relationship that undergoes a second chance or a kind of transformation. But balance of all kinds can be in for testing here. Your self-identity and issues regarding codependency as well. Now, on the 28th of October, there will be a partial lunar eclipse at 5 degrees of Taurus in your 2nd house. And this can be endings, culminations, or a coming for fullness or fruition in the area of money, income, job, your work, close relationships, your family, your values, your beliefs, what you eat, drink, your self-worth, your weight, your possessions, your property, your investments. Something here is changing. A job is ending or changing. A bad habit you need to cut, or event that makes you realize you don't need money to feel worthy. So that is quite an important area for you, Aries. Thank you for listening. You are reestablishing your worth this year. You are rebalancing your life. You're becoming more independent. You're becoming more assertive, meeting new people, learning how to have fun again, and to be able to freely and communicate and express yourself just as you are. A new sense of self and self-confidence is turned on for you in 2023. May the sun shine bright on you this day. May there be blessings coming your way. May you have a wonderful 2023. Until next time, bye-bye.